you would think that after a year almost of doing live videos that I would be a little less nervous, but sometimes I do get nervous right before I come on here. I think like I'm a Virgo, so I think of all the things that like could go wrong. For example, my light, my candle catching something on fire and just everything engulfing in flames. Like, what type of thinking is that? So I'm saying all of this because I just want to be honest with you guys, but the power of thinking, like, are any of those things, can they actually happen? I mean, yes. Will they probably happen? Probably not. 9 times out of 10, it's probably not going to happen. But it just reminds me of like how crazy like our anxious brains can be sometimes. That's neither here nor there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys are so funny. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am a little late because I wanted to grab something for you. I'm 10 minutes late, but that's because I recently found this book and I wanted to share it with you guys. Thank you so much for the compliments saying that I look radiant, I look pretty, this necklace. I need to find out if I can remember who it was that got this necklace, what store I got it from. It was a local shop in Philadelphia, someone who created them by hand, and as soon as I saw it, I said, yes, that is for me, so I picked it up immediately. So thank you guys. Pure Luck Style, thank you so much for tuning in, my love. So good to see you. I'm looking through your comments right now. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Mystic Peach said you needed to say that I've been paranoid and overthinking. Yeah, maybe not paranoid, but it just shows sometimes, like, as, you know, blissed out as I am or as grounded as I work myself to be, that even in, like, a slight moment of anything that pushes you, that makes you, like, that pushes you outside of your comfort zone, your natural brain sometimes, the human brain, goes into thinking worst case scenario and thinks of all the things that could go wrong. When in reality, I love coming on here and talking to you guys. I myself am a naturally kind of an introverted type of personality. I just learned how to be extroverted in a lot of ways because I was raised in an environment of extroverted women. So it's not that I'm, you know, paranoid or anything like that, but I do want to be honest with you guys and use my life as an example or other things and remind you that no matter how, you know, grounded you are or how cemented you are, that sometimes when you do push yourself outside of your comfort zones, there is always going to be that type of like hesitation, anxiety, and with that, you know, your brain kind of, you know, overloads. So thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in. This is going to be your astro forecast for the week of March 12th. The video, surprisingly, Heavily Meditated says, sometimes I feel like my random anxiety is my intuition telling me something is coming, but I feel anxious when I can't get the full message. That's okay. Just ground yourself, cement yourself, the same thing that I do. Ground yourself, you know, in any situation. China says, when does your shop open? I need sage. It's open now, my dear. You better hurry up because everything is pretty much sold out. I opened up earlier this week or earlier last week and everything's sold out. I just got an order just now. Thank you to Charlotte for placing your order just now. She's getting some, well, I shouldn't put anyone on blast, but she's getting some herbs probably to make some magic for this new moon that's coming up. Oh my gosh. You guys, we have to talk about this new moon. But before I get started on talking about the astro forecast, I'm late, 10 minutes late because I wanted to grab this thing for you. When I moved, for those of you guys that don't know, thank you so much for tuning in from Spain. That's so awesome. I moved last weekend, Monday. I moved Monday of last week. It was unexpected. Not that it wasn't something that I wasn't, you know, set intention for, but I just didn't think it was going to happen because I had a pretty strict list of the things that it is that I wanted. So my internet, throughout the move, I tried to set up my internet and I've been working from a hotspot. The internet company is finally coming tomorrow, so I'll have internet. But in the meantime, I had to run out and get furniture. A few pieces of furniture for the apothecary. This is the new space. So while I was out running and getting furniture, I came across this book. Oh! I I am so in love, you guys. Look at it, please, please, please. Can you just, like, as soon as I saw it, well, first of all, my boyfriend saw it first and foremost, and he pointed it out, and he said, that's yours. And I was like, oh my God, this cover is stunning. It's so amazing. I love it, right? And he said, it's yours. Like, I'm getting it for you. And we opened it, and you guys have to see, I'm currently redecorating and redesigning the apothecary to, like, better suit my needs and you guys' needs, you know what I mean? And the inside, it's like interior design, but like from a magical perspective. And like what inspires this guy. Like you would think by looking at the cover that it would be like a grimoire. I wish. But it's like just inspiring. Like just the amount of like textures and designs and stuff like that. So I really wanted to share this with you guys because I thought it was so beautiful and so stunning, and we picked it up, and it's going to be sitting on my coffee table for my clients when you guys come in and get readings with me locally. This is going to be here for you, so you can go ahead and check that out. But I was so inspired by it. It's so interesting how the universe inspires you and how certain things kind of fall into your lap and begin to make sense. So this was one of those books that I came across and, you know, picked up immediately. So I wanted to share that with you. All right. That being said, I do have a lot of messages that I want to share with you guys. There's some major changes that are happening this week that we need to talk about. The two major changes are the fact that Jupiter is retrograde now in the sign of Scorpio. And also we have this new moon in Pisces. Now, you thought that you had exited out of the element of Pisces because Pisces, most of the planets have exited out of Pisces in general, but the sun is still sitting here. And this new moon is going to be happening on the 17th, 2018. The chart that I pulled is 11:11 a.m., so it's roughly around that time. For those of you guys that don't understand why it is that I do that, I do not refer to other blogs. I don't refer to what other astrologers do. I always pull the chart myself and interpret the chart from what it is that I see. So sometimes in order for me to move quickly, in order to get a full idea of, what that new moon is going to look like, I pull the chart within that moment and roughly around, and I always kind of keep it around like 12:22 because 22 is my personal power number, 11:11 or 11:11 p.m. or 12:12 p.m. So I use a lot of number synchronicity when I'm pulling the chart. So as far as times go, they're pretty tight. They're very close, but they're not exact. So the reason why I say this is that I have been called out in the past for people who are like, Jess, the new moon is 11:09 a.m. So it's like, why are you saying this? Why are you saying that you're going to do magic that night when the new moon is at that time? Because, number one, I always work my magic at night. That's when I do my best work, first and foremost. So mind your business. No, I'm just kidding. But I always do my magic at night. And when I pull the chart, I'm not looking to other outsourced resources. I rely on myself. That's right. I am my own astrologer, and I studied for over 15 years or 12 years now, I think, with astrology. So I always pull my own charts. If you don't believe me, I have the chart right here on my laptop. As we speak, I use astro.com and I pull the chart myself. I do not refer to other websites or blogs because 9 times out of 10 they're wrong or they're recycling information that was out there. No shade to them, but I'm very particular about the blogs that it is that I actually look towards, okay? Or that I would even take seriously, because it just kind of seems like everyone's kind of recycling the same garbage. I need to calm down. I need to calm down, but I do get kind of annoyed. I can't help myself because I see like information kind of getting like recycled and pumped out there, and then it's like, for example, Jupiter retrograde. Let's talk about Jupiter retrograde. Everyone's like, well, a lot of Instagram people on Instagram. Let me tell. Yes. Sam's Light 22 says, get it, Virgo. Like, thank you, Sam. You want to know why? Because I'm a Virgo. I'm a perfectionist. And I just like, I look into facts. That's what Virgos do. We analyze things and we want perfection. We want it to be pure, unadulterated information, and we want to give that to you guys. Virgos at least. That's not to say that other signs can't do it, but I just don't take shortcuts, and everything that you'll find on my channel, on my YouTube, especially my YouTube, my Instagram, especially my Instagram, is always 100% from me as far as intuitive messages. I don't recycle stuff. I really don't. So I really want to separate myself from the others when it comes to that, even though, again, I can say that there are very few that I respect and refer to and look out for. But as far as when it comes to astrology, I'm such a perfectionist, it's unreal. Whew, that being said, so Jupiter retrograde. Okay, Mystic Peach says, honestly, we can tell your frustration with the negative outlooks on zodiacs and all that. You don't play that. You're right. You want to know why? Because, oh my gosh, you guys are getting me off on a tangent today. Ooh! You want to know why? Because everyone looks at Jupiter and the internet. Go anywhere on the internet right now and Google Jupiter. And Jupiter, everyone will be like, all the top 10 websites will be like, oh, Jupiter is the great benefactor. Jupiter gives blessings and abundance to everything. Jupiter is such a positive planet. And if Jupiter is aspecting your chart, or if there's something going on with Jupiter, it's gotta be good because Jupiter is positive. You know what? And then if you look at Pluto or Saturn, they're like, oh, it's a bad planet. It destroys everything. It restricts you. It confines you. That's like stereotypes. That's like saying, I'm not going to go into a stereotype, but that's like looking at one piece and only sticking to the good or sticking to the bad. Every single sign, every single planet has two sides to it. There's a good and then there's a bad. So Saturn is awesome. Saturn gets destroyed on blogs. And Saturn, when people say, oh my gosh, Saturn's moving into here, we're going to have all this trouble. You know what? Without Saturn, we would never be cemented. We would never have long-lasting businesses. We would never have long-lasting relationships. Jupiter. Everyone says, oh my God, Jupiter is so positive. Jupiter's gives blessings and rains them down. So when Jupiter goes retrograde, this is such a negative thing. You know what? Jupiter can make you lazy. Jupiter can make you miss opportunities. That opportunity can come in and fly in out of square one, out of the window, and you'll miss it because Jupiter, negatively aspected, can make someone super lazy. Jupiter can make you break your diet. You can say okay, I really want to do better, but then it's for some reason you keep on expanding. Why? Because Jupiter rules expansion. When you see Jupiter moving through someone's first house, I can see right away okay, your waistline is going to be expanding. If you're not trying to gain weight, then you're at risk of gaining weight. If your student loans can increase, your debt can increase, all because Jupiter has moved in and is influencing your chart and influencing your life. So everyone, and then they'll be I gotta slow my roll again. But there's two sides to every story. There's two faces to every sign. There's two faces to every planet. Stop following and promoting this attention seeking for people who are saying only the negative or only the positive. It's no bueno. Curly Ken says, student loans increased yesterday. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Mystic Peach says, that explains my want for fried chicken when I know it ain't good. That is so funny. You're so funny. Okay. Then also, shout out to the person who said on my YouTube channel, Jess, when you do live chats, can you stop pausing in between? No. No, I'm not going to stop pausing in between. You want to know why? Because live chat was designed for me to be able to connect with you guys. Even as I look at this, we have 111 subscribers. No, I'm not going to stop stopping to pause and read you guys' comments because I freaking love you guys. This isn't, if you want to watch, Just TV or BehatiLife TV, that's what YouTube is for. You know what I mean? You can listen to me talk uninterrupted, but the live chat is designed for me to stop and listen and talk and connect. So if it bothers you that I'm pausing to read comments, then go to the YouTube channel, because half of the time this information is repeated on there afterwards. So I'm going to keep stopping and seeing what you guys say. And the other thing is that when this live chat is over, I come right back on and I revisit everyone's comments, because I actually want to know what you're saying. I actually want to hear your questions. This is a reciprocal relationship. You give to me, I give to you. It's a relationship that we have here. Nothing more, nothing less. So if you truly are annoyed with the fact that I pause to answer questions, or I pause to catch my breath, or I pause because intuitive messages are coming through and I have to pause to wait for them to come through, then live chat is not for you. Find your way over to the YouTube channel and get those more concentrated messages. No shade, but I just want to tell you guys, there's some things that have been bugging me lately that have really been bugging me. And I just, it doesn't get to me like too much, but there's boundaries. And I want everyone to know where I stand and where I'm coming from and what you can expect. And if this is not for you, you don't have to be here. On all honesty, you don't have to be there, all right? All right, that being said, let's talk about this new moon in Pisces. Actually, no, let's talk about Jupiter retrograde. Because I want to start with the Jupiter retrograde first, because many people don't know, but Jupiter at one point was Pisces at one point was actually ruled by Jupiter. And there's a reason for that. As silly and as, jovial as Jupiter is, he's actually considered in a lot of ways like a spiritual guru. And when I did my research, side note, for those of you guys who, haven't really dived into astrology so deeply, that's what I'm here for, is to share these little facts with you, little fun facts, Virgo vibes. But the ancients and the elders that have come before us, generations, centuries, lifetimes before us, when they were studying the stars and when they were pulling up charts, the 9th house was the house of mind expansion. And the wise ones were the people who were travelers, spiritually seeking, or those who are highly educated. Now, in society right now, a lot of countries and a lot of cultures exalt higher degrees, higher education, such as doctorates, master's programs. And they don't give attention to those who travel, who do not go to get their masters or their doctorates, but those people who invest themselves in trying to discover new cultures and different people and different lifestyles. The elders looked at those who traveled as highly wise individuals because they were able to connect with the world. They were able to give wisdom and different perspectives into the ways of others and bring that to the community. So that was a wise person there. Another wise person was that person who was extra hermetic. That person who spent so much time studying the stars, studying astrology, studying the tarot, looking for the signs, paying attention to the signals, working with the divine, channeling messages. And that person was considered a wise person. But in today's modern society, everyone highlights and emphasizes the person who goes for their masters and their doctorates. Now, I'm saying all of that to say that everyone's path is so different. And not everyone's meant to be a leader, and that's okay. Not everyone is meant to be a follower, and that's okay. But if you even now are grappling with your own choices, your own lifestyle, like your own growth in this world, don't be ashamed if you're not finding yourself gravitating towards going to a higher university or getting your doctorates or anything like that, or becoming like a lawyer, or those traditional things. Everyone has a different path, everyone has a different path, and everyone has a different destiny. And there are I don't want to say that everyone needs to be like exalted or a wise one or an elder or bring their wisdom, but everyone's destined to be something different. I just felt it was really important for me to confirm that for a lot of people, that you don't have to do what everyone else is doing. That being said, let's talk about Jupiter retrograde. All of this is connected, I promise. So Jupiter, like I said, is, like I said before, is a planet of abundance and expansion and growth. And, sorry, hello French Roast. I love your name, by the way. How do you go about that path without feeling shamed by others, family, lover, etc.? That's a good question. The answer to that is you have to prioritize your life. You have to prioritize your path. You have to prioritize your happiness. You have to look at yourself as a child of God. You have to look at yourself as a connection to the divine. And the divine is this higher power, this all-knowing, all-loving higher power that has given you a gift. And when you prioritize what others say for you versus what the divine says for you, you're off topic. You're off track. You've put too much importance on what others want for you and not enough on your personal path. Knowing that should empower you. Knowing that should give you strength to move forward in the way that only you can. Because at the end of the day, do you know where blessings come from? They come from the divine. They come from you following your spirit, you following your heart. Those people, your family, your friends, they can't bless you in the way that the divine can. They can't bless you in the way that you can. Only you can do what it is that you want to do. All right? So be very mindful about who it is that you're allowing to control you, who you're allowing to kind of validate your existence. The only person that you need to answer to is yourself and, in my belief, a higher power. That being said, this actually does move into the Jupiter retrograde. This aspect. If you see glitter on me, you guys, it's because I was playing with glitter. I'm not gonna lie. I'm 30 years old and I still play with glitter. You wanna know why? Because it makes me happy. But Jupiter retrograde. So again, like I was saying, Jupiter connects to abundance, expansion, and growth. Now, Jupiter falling in a sign of Scorpio highlights in the elements that are ruled by Scorpio get highlighted because Jupiter expands it and brings it out. Now, a month before Jupiter moved into Scorpio, I predicted that all of this sexual exploitation stuff and our the way that we look at sex and the way that we look at power, people in positions of power, because Scorpio is connected to that, would be brought to our attention, would come up to the surface. And that's exactly what happened, because Jupiter tends to kind of rip back the curtain and the lights blast down, and then you're like put on full blast. That's what Jupiter does. So when Jupiter moves, or when any planet moves through a sign, you want to look at what Jupiter, the energy of Jupiter, and then you want to look at the energy of the sign, mush them together, and then you can see what's going to happen for however long. Then you want to look to see what Jupiter is going to be aspecting. Is it going to be positively aspecting certain, planets, certain lines or points within the chart? And then also you want to look to see what's going on in that person's natal chart, because although the planets could be positively aspected on the external, they could be negatively affecting you in your natal chart. Now, before I get any questions about, Jess, where can I pull my natal chart? You could do it at astro.com. That's the website that I only use. It's the only one that I think is reliable, accurate, AF. And but you do need to know what it is that you're working with when you're working with that chart, or when you're working with that website, because it doesn't do interpretations for you. If you needed to do an astrology chart, then sometime down the line I'll be opening up for astrology readings, but right now my focus is on my Sacred Tarot Circle right now. So sorry, they're getting my full attention at the moment, outside of orders and those types of things. Shout out to Fuel in South Philadelphia for the lemonade time. Time lemonade, it's so good. Thank you so much. Refreshing my body in many ways. But anyways, I'm looking at the chart. So when Jupiter is retrograde, Jupiter takes steps back. Now, one of the major things that I'm seeing, artist Sifi says, okay, that curtain was snatched like a wig. So many So many family secrets have been coming out because I've been asking about our ancestors and their practices. Yep. I'm not surprised to hear that. Not surprised. Hannah says, I'm so excited to start tarot school. I'm so excited to have you, my dear. It's going to be a good one. I'm really loving my first semester. That's why I opened up for my second semester so soon, because my first semester has been dope. They're such a good group. For those of you guys that are part of my first semester, you guys are like golden children. You guys are my moonbeam children, my little stars. And they're doing so amazing, and I'm so proud of them. And if it wasn't for you guys being so amazing, I would probably not have opened up for a second semester. But that's neither here nor there. So when Jupiter moves through Scorpio and then goes retrograde, basically what that means is that that planet starts taking some steps backwards. Now, one of the first things that I saw while looking at the chart, and basically what happens for me when I look at the chart, is I get intuitive messages as well as what I see within the chart, and I merge the both of them in order to give them to you guys, to reveal that to you. And the first thing that I saw was an emphasis on refocusing back on blessings, refocusing back on what the universe has already given to you. That's because Jupiter, again, rules gifts and abundance, and in a lot of ways, he opens up the floodgate. And when he's retrograde, he needs time to rebuild his energy. He needs time to kind of power himself up. In fact, when I looked at the chart, the metaphor and the image that I got was a tropical storm that's swirling over the Gulf of Mexico and building its strength and its energy so that when its time hits and when those winds are perfect, he's going to be a hurricane and he's going to reveal his full vengeance. Now, technically, a hurricane is not the most positive thing because he destroys a lot, and Jupiter is not really one to destroy things. He's more of one to kind of blow things up and, you know, set things in our, you know, our vision, our mind's eye, and, you know, kind of like a tidal wave, bring them in. But really what I see during this retrograde period is this energy kind of collecting itself. That's what Jupiter is currently doing right now, is collecting itself and building itself up so that when he's direct, he's able to come and bring forth all that he has to bring to you, good or bad. So the thing is that I see with this is that I can't help but to ignore the fact that last 3 months have been a freaking roller coaster for so many people. It's like so much stuff going on left and right. I've been feeling it in my own personal life. And last month was insanely good, but also insanely stressful for a lot of people. And basically, you'll see opportunities coming in, but you also see a lot of stress and a lot of challenges. And that's because you need to kind of pick yourself up. Basia, I'm not sure if I said that right, says yes indeed. AV New 26 says yes. I just clicked out of my chart. Mystic Peach says, heck yes, I'm feeling this. How long? Joy to Me 7 says, how long is Jupiter going to go retrograde for? Until July 7th or 10th. I can't remember. 7th or 10th, but actually now that I'm saying out loud, I think it's the 10th. Emma Louise says, seriously, everything that could change completely has. I'm not surprised to be hearing about this because there's so many things that have been getting tested outside of eclipses, outside of Mercury making moves. And the other thing too is that a lot of this energy is unpredictable. Like we ourselves, we feel like an impulse. We feel like spurred to action. In some ways, we don't even recognize ourselves in the way that we act on things. But that's because Mercury and Uranus have been tangling themselves up in their own little tug of war. I see it as the two planets roughhousing with each other, and something's going to break. Something in the house is going to break, but also they're getting out their wiggles. It like needs to happen. It's like having two boys or two like rough housing girls who are just fighting it out and slapping each other or punching each other or whatever. It's like, you know what? They've got to get their wiggles out. But basically how this happens in our own life is we feel impulsive. We feel like we have to act on things. We can't even control our impulses in some ways. We just know this is right, this is wrong. Now, when the planets were moving through the sign of Pisces, we were super heightened to the energy that was going on around us. And in a lot of ways, what I see for this new moon is that heightened energy still being there because Pisces energy is not completely over yet. And that's not a bad thing. the one thing that I said within my YouTube, my new video that's coming up for this Jupiter retrograde period and this new moon, is the fact that there should never be one sign, or as the planets move through one sign, that it affects you so bad that it completely strips you of your power. If you're a magician, or if you work magic, if you set intentions, if you're connected to your inner goddess, if you're grounded, if you're strong in your personal power, the planets moving through your chart or moving through certain signs should, sometimes it happens, but you have to work your power to make it so that an elemental change within the chart does not derail you, because you have then allowed outside circumstances to strip you of your personal power. You can't allow that to happen. You have to always at least know your weaknesses. When you know your weaknesses and you can work with your weaknesses, you can then turn your weakness into strength. So if you're not comfortable with Pisces, if you're not comfortable with certain things happening within your chart, focus on what makes you uncomfortable and make yourself better because of it. Do not allow outside influences to tell you otherwise. None of my followers, none of my YouTube followers, none of my Instagram followers should ever at any point feel like anything has ever taken them of their power. I feel like I give a lot daily to remind you of your personal power, and I do that for a reason, because I have weaknesses and everyone has weaknesses, and the chart themselves in the moment is not always going to build you up and make you feel strong. In this lifetime, you're not always going to feel strong. In fact, the moments when you feel weak, or you're breaking down, or you're having emotional breakthroughs, that's the moment when you're being evolved and shape-shifted into something far deep. Now, the one thing that I say and that I see with even like powerful Instagrammers here, or powerful teachers and witches on here, is that they allow certain things to kind of derail them and take them down, because they're not allowing themselves to be open to the energy. The biggest quote that I say again and again and again is the fact that if you learn to ride the wave, you will be carried to a destination that blows your freaking mind. You want to know why that is? Because the universe, your spirit guides, your angels, your ancestors are working in overtime, whether you see it or whether you don't, in order to make sure that you are exactly where you need to be, no matter what is going on in the cosmos or down here on Earth. There should be nothing at any point that will take you off of that. Even if it doesn't logically make sense to you, the energy, especially of Pisces, reminds you that not everything is logical. Not everything can be analyzed. As human beings, you have given yourself too much power to think for a second that you have complete control over anything, even as a witch, even as a magic maker, even as a manifester. There are certain things that are outside of our control for a very good reason, and thank God for that. So when you allow yourself to be flexible to what's going on in the cosmos, you can then be carried to your destination. If you fight the wave, you are going to drown. If you learn to pick your feet up and float with it, you will be carried exactly where you need to be. Yeah. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Okay. Uno says, I want to know all these terms and understand signs and astrology. Where do I start? Well, you know what? Writing in all caps definitely caught my attention. So good for you for that. Where do you start? Definitely by, I know this sounds so simple and so basic, but pull your own chart. Study your own chart, study your transits, and do your research on basic astrology terms, basic astrology aspects, and you should just start from there. Okay? Excuse me. Okay. So, let me check my time because Instagram will knock me off. Okay, we have 30 more minutes. Heavily Meditated said, I read from the only astrology book you'll ever need. I have that book too, and I don't hate it. I'll say that. I don't hate it. Okay, so with the new moon, right? The one thing that I see with this is that Pisces, again, is so connected to our intuition and following our vibes. Pisces always kind of reminds me of Cancer. Only Cancer is more action oriented. People don't realize that about Cancers, is that they really are movers and shakers because they're moving from such a strong place. Pisces kind of works not to as change agents, but kind of vibing things out and following the flow of things. So that's what I see by looking at the chart for this new moon. Now, one thing that I've been seeing a lot is everyone kind of setting intentions on the new moon, but I can't emphasize enough the importance of actually taking the days around this new moon to kind of ground yourself and cement yourself and focus on your intuition. Focus on your angels and your guides. When I was looking at the chart, I could see immediately that there are people who need to get messages from their guides, from spirit, from their ancestors, from the divine. And you can't do that by logically seeking or actively seeking. And the way to do that is to pull back in some ways and to take this dark moon time. And again, this is happening on the 17th. It's on a Saturday. So if you can take this time out for yourself, please do. Because I feel like people need to get intuitive messages for themselves. Whether you're working with the tarot, whether you're working with your own intuition, you have to kind of receive like this information for yourself. And I'm saying to you too, don't look to others unless it's like a high priestess or someone who can help you. Definitely try to do the work yourself. Work with setting dreams. Work with working dream manifestation, dream interpretation. Set the intention. In fact, I have an oil in my shop right now called Prophetic Dreams, and it has mugwort in it. I freaking love mugwort for setting intentions and working with dreams. Lavender, and it's charged specifically on the dark moon in order to create this stimulation of the subconscious to kind of reveal certain things within your own psyche to make themselves known. And I'm saying that because it's like, do what you have to do to kind of push, to kind of provoke and prod your subconscious mind to begin to stimulate itself to make things known. Because during this dark moon, yes, if you're going to set intentions, and you guys, I'm a witch, I work magic all the time within my shop, but I'm actually telling you that if you are going to set magic during this time, don't make it super active, make it super receiving. Make sure that you're receiving information at least, and you don't need to have anything for that unless you want certain things. But like, be open to, if let's say you don't want to work with oils, that's fine. Let's say you don't want to work with candles, that's fine. Set the intention before you go to bed, and upon waking, write down your dreams. Write down what comes to you, because that's something else that I see. Did you guys see that just now? I'm not even kidding. That was 37, that scared me a little bit. At 37 minutes, that... What, Bubba? Yo. PMS blog says, oh my god. Just another day in the apothecary. But anyways, moving forward. Franklin, come. Yes, Simon Tribe said, I saw it, and now the dogs are barking. Hey, yeah, this is just another day. Like, honestly, it's just another day. But like I was saying, angels and guides have a message that they want to give to you. If you ignore it, you're going to miss out. Mystic Peach says, yes. Was it dust? I don't think so, my love. We'll go back. We'll check it on the repeat, and we'll watch it. But all right. So that was one thing that I saw for the new moon, is taking some time out for yourself and disconnecting a little bit. The other thing is that when you do disconnect and when you do when you do pull back from the world for just a moment, you're going to get inspired action. This is because on that same day, Mars, the planet that rules action and drive and ambition, is going to be moving into the sign of Capricorn. Now, I could not be more excited for this, because Capricorn gets dogged all the time because Capricorn is connected to Saturn, and Capricorn is not the most exciting planet or sign within all of the zodiac, because signs like Leo and Aries and Scorpio are all highlighted. Nothing against you guys because everyone's equal, but I feel like Taurus, Capricorn, Cancers, Pisces, they do not get the fair shake that they deserve. And when Mars moves into the sign of Capricorn, this is happening on the 17th. Mars is exalted. Mars is at its very best. Mars says, look, if you can support me, I can give you the most. The other thing too is that Mars is still playing around with the planet Uranus, and Uranus, the two of them together, show that you need to make inspired action. You need to follow your impulses. You need to act on certain things. So the universe, the divine, can prevent certain or reveal certain things to you, but it's up to you to kind of make that next step, to make that next move. That's what Mars says, is act upon it. So that's one thing that I saw. I feel like there's important pieces that it is that I'm missing. Oh, the fact that Mercury and Venus are still like Hansel and Gretel right now, like brothers and sisters holding hands, skipping through the woods together. Through the sign currently of Aries. Aries is also ruled by Mars. This is all about being very, not aggressive, but very forward about the things that it is that you want. Being very forward and bold about, and taking charge with what you love and what you want and what your thoughts are, where your thoughts are at, how you're expressing yourself. Being forward and direct. Maybe that's why I'm so forward and direct lately. Maybe I can't really control my tongue because Mars is known to be kind of an irritant and to set things off, and I really am having a hard time holding back when it comes to my own personal irritations, when it comes to charts and astrology. Now, no shade again, but I'm just being honest with you guys that there's certain things that these planets, they're not designed to break you down. The other thing too that I was seeing with this with Jupiter being retrograde is the fact that for a lot of people you have to revisit your loans, your spending, your credit, your taxes. This is because Scorpio again rules like other people's money or savings and long-term investments like that. And when Jupiter is retrograde, I know I'm swinging back and forth from the new moon to Jupiter going retrograde. But when when Jupiter goes retrograde again, it's like it makes you revisit and makes you prioritize where you once were kind of maybe spending a little recklessly, or kind of like rechecking like checks and balances, making sure that the budget is balanced, making sure that you're not swiping your card too much, because when Jupiter is currently like direct, and again this depends on where Jupiter falls within your chart. Oh, I'm sorry you guys, my phone froze for a minute. But when Jupiter is, depending on where Jupiter moves through your chart, that's going to influence you in that way. But another thing that I just am seeing is student loans and people who are refocusing back on their spiritual selves. I'm seeing people who would normally go to an outside witch doctor or tarot reader or astrologer. Now they're taking time to find the answers for themselves. That's why there's a lot of interest right now in Sacred Circle Tarot School, because you get to learn how to be your own best tarot reader, not only for yourself but for others. So this is more about people becoming more self-reliant and finding their own way and finding their own path and honoring that. So those are some things that I see there for you guys. There is something that I wanted to kind of talk about, and that message that came through for me even as I was working, to prepare this for you guys. Oh, Eyes That Shine 856. You always stand out to me, my dear, and I love you. She says, I'm getting the vibe that I need to bury my wallet and go back into my shell to do some more soul searching. If there is a sign that connects to soul searching on a deeper level and wants to soul search, it's definitely Scorpio, so it makes sense that you're saying that. But that's the thing too, is that last few months, I want to say there was a lot of emphasis on others, and it almost seems like a lot of compromise was what people were giving People were giving a lot of themselves to the point where they compromised the basic things that they needed. When I started this video, before I started this video, this morning, I woke up and I have a ritual of things that I do every single morning. I put that ritual on my YouTube for people because they're always asking me, like, Jess, how do you start your day? And I wanted to answer it in full detail. So I started with my normal ritual. And when I was in that, like, I focus on myself, but then I also focus on you guys. What is my clients right now? What is my tribe? What do they need to hear? And that's when I pull my cards. That's when I write down my intuitive messages and see what comes up. And then I formulate it and I type it out and I put it on Instagram for everyone to benefit. The biggest message that came forward for my tribe, and this makes me so freaking sad, but it is what it is, and I respect it and I honor it. But it was that so many of us do not have peace right now. And again, it's because so much of the world and so much around us has been chaos. And things have been like causing us to act really, really fast. And when we don't have peace, we find ourselves chasing. We find ourselves moving and going all the time because there's things that we need to accomplish or because the world is telling us, act now, act now, act now. And we don't want to miss opportunities. When Jupiter is going retrograde, it finally is giving us a chance to slow our roll a little bit and to focus on what we have already established and begin to build that. But back to what it was that I was saying before of go back to peace. Meaning like when everything is settling, let your mind be still. If you are still, if you're physically not moving and your mind is racing and there's so many things that need to be done or so many things that need to accomplish, so many things that need to be accomplished, so many people that you could disappoint, so many things that you have to do, so many responsibilities, so many commitments, you quickly lose peace because you are no longer a spiritual human being. You are a machine. And what ends up happening is we get so caught on this rat race that we over-compromise and over-give of ourselves. And this last full moon, when it was in Virgo, I was telling you guys to prioritize. Look at where your energy is being scattered and purify it, perfect it. Because Virgo wants you to perfect. Virgo wants you to kind of analyze and figure things out so that you can then ground yourself and become more efficient, but also more whole. And this new moon on the 17th, this gives you the chance to go back and to reconnect again and to ground yourself. And to listen to what the angels and the guides have been trying to tell you, what they've been trying to bring to your attention. Because we're missing it by over-caffeinating ourselves, over-sugaring ourselves, running all the time. We don't have peace. That was a message that came through. The other thing is that when you prioritize peace, when you prioritize balance, when you stop compromising all the damn time and put yourself first and your needs first and take care of yourself and your body, you then become in alignment with the divine and with spirit and with manifestation, with the things that you're seeking, the people that you're seeking. You become in harmony with it. So those were two words that came through, peace and harmony. And thank God for Jupiter going retrograde now. The whole world is going to tell you that Jupiter retrograde is going to block your blessings. Don't listen to them. You want to know why they're doing it? Because they get clicks out of it. And subscribers. And followers. The other thing is that, and I only have about 10 more minutes, so there needs to kind of be like a priority shift. If what you're doing every day does not give you an element of peace, then set the intent that what you bring into your life, jobs, relationships, health-wise, that it does give you peace, that it does give you life, that it does help you to thrive. You have to have so much faith in allowing yourself to be in a space to release those loose ends, no matter how amazing that blessing is, no matter how good that person is, no matter how much you see potential in that person, no matter how much, having like 3 jobs is like paying your bills. In some ways, and sometimes you have to ask for help. In some ways, you have to open up for more by getting rid of stuff. The other thing that I saw when you move into harmony and peace within yourself and with the divine is you remember why we're here and what is an actual priority. And the priority is that, and I feel like I might have actually posted about this on my Instagram, that the only reason why we're here is to love and be loved and to share experiences and to learn and to grow, and nothing more than that. If you ever find yourself disconnected from that, then not that you're off alignment, but you just need to be reminded and you need to come back into place with that. But when you sit with yourself for a moment within that sacred space, everything becomes clear. And the waters, they clear themselves out. For the new moon, I see for a lot of people, them being redirected, them having like incredible hunches of just, I got distracted. I believe she uploads it to YouTube afterwards. So I guess someone had a question about, is this, Kayla Edwards says, I miss so much. It's okay, the replay will be up and then it'll also be posted on YouTube. Joy to Me says, I read it today and it was right on time, the message. Oh, good. I'm so glad. Bunny Trips on Reality, I love your name, says, yes, I learned too that my love is unconditional. Even if people don't love me, I love them. I can do something so powerful. I love that. That's so Pisces too. Like that element of Pisces is so unconditionally loving because it doesn't expect of anyone. It just accepts people for who they are for the most part. And that's why sometimes they're so sensitive. That's why a lot of us are so sensitive. Jeannie Emerald says, but thank you. You are literally speaking on a lot of things I'm experiencing. Let me read some of your comments. I have a few minutes left over and I don't want to I don't want to ignore anyone. So, but for those of you guys that are just tuning in, the message is going to be, this video is going to be posted, this live chat is going to be posted on YouTube, my YouTube, BehatiLife. I just hit 10,000 subscribers on the 9th. YouTube sent me an email and was like, hey, BehatiLife, you need to celebrate. Stop everything that you're doing and celebrate. And I was like, what? It was so cute. So thank you guys. Luma Bean says, my wife is Pisces and that's her all the way. You're so blessed to have a Pisces wife because they're the best. New moon ritual post? Yes, totally. Actually, I have a post that's up right now. I have an intuitive message actually that's up right now. When I was writing for my new moon blog and the Jupiter retrograde, there was a lot of information that came through. Hey, Rochelle. Rochelle just joined in. Thank you so much for joining in. I love you, love you, love you. So yeah, when I was on my, when I was writing for the new moon and writing for Jupiter retrograde, I started getting a lot of information. So all of that is captured on the blog. So, and that's currently on the website right now as we speak. So don't miss out on that. Like it's like legit the information that I was posting on there, I just felt was so good that I'm just going to keep it up there forever for as long as I can, because I just felt like it was really, really, really good. Okay. Brains and Beauty Babe says, can you elaborate some on Virgo and new moon, please? Actually, The caps really do catch my attention. That's so funny. And I hear, like, when I read it, I hear screaming. I'm just kidding. But the new moon, for those that are actually, because we don't have a whole lot of time, it's only an hour on here. I only have 5 more minutes. Well, technically 6. The new moon video is going to be posted right now. For that, I do not have internet. My video uploading times have increased, like, insanely. So what would normally take me 30 minutes is now taking me 4 hours. I went to a coffee shop earlier today in order to upload using their Wi-Fi. Thanks, Milk and Honey on South Street. So love that cafe. If you haven't checked them out, please do, and tell them that I sent you because I love them so much. But after this, I'm actually headed to a Starbucks because I think they're actually open kind of late, and hopefully use their internet to post their videos. Or post the videos for this week ahead. So for those of you guys asking about the full details of this new moon, number 1, it's on the blog, and number 2, it's going to be on the YouTube. Okay, Heavily Meditated says, Jess, period. Do you have a post on how you've turned your passion into a profitable business? You're so inspiring, heart chakra on fire. Let me write that down, because I would love to actually answer that for you. How to turn passion into business. Intention, prayer, and never letting anyone tell you otherwise. I was stuck on BehatiLife. At the time, it was Behati Tarot for like building it 3 years. Everyone told me that I had to compromise. Everyone told me that I had to stop in order to focus on my studies. And I took 1 week away from posting about astrology or posting about the current transits, and it felt like actual toxic energy. If you are going to start a passion, make sure that it is something that you absolutely love. Running a business, and I'm only saying business because it doesn't feel like I'm doing work. It feels like I'm running my passion, and I just love it. You have to make sure that it's something that you absolutely are passionate about, that even if you weren't doing it, you would still be doing it. That's what tarot and astrology is for me. You guys don't understand that when I take breaks from doing readings for others or take breaks from pulling charts, I am pulling a chart for myself. I'm pulling a chart for my friends. If I'm at the bar with my friends, side note, I don't drink alcohol at all, like point blank period. But if I am at a bar hanging out with my friends, I will end up talking about astrology to a stranger. I will end up pulling a chart for free because I love it. So when you have a business or you're working for yourself, it's not a full-time job. It's an all-the-time job. There's many sacrifices. There's hardly any days off. Only recently in my life am I trying to take weekends off for myself because I actually need to, for health reasons, or just because I need to not work all the time. So if there's advice that I can give to anyone, then it would be, if you are going to start a business for yourself, then make sure that you're absolutely obsessed with it. Like, absolutely obsessed, because if you're not obsessed and if you're not passionate, it's going to burn you out. Like, it's going to burn you out. I can't tell you how many times, like, I want to give more to everyone and I can't actually do it. And I just, like, get so frustrated that I can't do more, and I go to bed and I wake up and I'm inspired all over again because I just want to do what it is that I'm doing. So when it comes to that, I set intention, and I just keep it moving, and the universe provides always and forever. My tribe, you guys are so dope. You guys are so dope. I respect you. I love you, and I want to serve you. And it just happens to be that you like what I do. You're just as passionate. You're just as interested, and that's what keeps BehatiLife going. Is the fact that you encourage me. Even if I wasn't like being encouraged, I would still be doing it. I would still be tweeting about it. I would still be talking about it. So just make sure that and I think that's what makes me so different from others, is the fact that it really is a relationship and it's my life. And this isn't just something that I do to, like, say, pay attention to me or exalt me or, tell me I'm cool or awesome or professional. I study it. If I'm not, like, I'm always studying. It's like 15 years now, 16 years, I can't remember. I'm still studying. I'm still pulling charts. I still look at other people's charts. I look at people's charts from years ago. I love astrology. I love it. So as far as turning a passion into a profitable business, number one, there's, I guess, luck that's connected to it, but your heart has to be into it. Your soul. BehatiLife is me. when you see my work, when you see my astrology, you see my posts, it's from my heart, it's from my soul. So make sure that, and respect your clients, and respect yourself. Because that's the other thing too. Like, you can't continue to give to people, and some people you just can't make happy. And then sometimes there's days where you can try and it's still not good enough. And there's going to be times where you're still learning and still making mistakes, and everyone in the world can hate you, but you still try. You wake up the next morning and you go at it again. I have 5 more seconds. I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll talk soon. Bye.